Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today we're going to talk about car shopping and how you can avoid getting burned like we were almost burned badly yesterday in trying to buy a brand new Toyota Supra for our daughter for Christmas. And yes, that's a whole different video about how irresponsible it is to do that and how we're spoiling her and ruining her childhood and her adulthood in the future. But we don't care because we're car people. That's what we do, and she will be doing tons of content and building a channel around that car, and we'll be doing it together because it will be father and daughter time, and frankly you can't put a dollar sign on that time we're going to spend together fixing that car up will be awesome. But it's proven to be difficult to find a car, and actually not as much about finding the car, but finding a dealership that's not going to screw you in the process. And yesterday, whoa, do I have a doozy to share with you of how a dealership and a salesman in particular tried to really pull like multiple consecutive fast ones on us as though we were complete imbeciles and idiots. And I want to share this story with you to save you the headache and make sure you watch out for these tactics, watch out for these things so that you don't get burned in the process. Now, we caught it all the way along. I bought over 45 cars in my lifetime, so I know how to avoid these things, but sometimes you get caught up in the moment and it's really easy to lose the picture, get caught up, and then end up falling for a slick salesperson. But we didn't, and luckily I had my wife with me who was calling BS all along the way as well. But let me get in the car and share with you this insane story, and hopefully someone out there will be saved a bunch of money by hearing this story. Let's jump in the car. Alright, so let's get started. First, hopefully you all had a great Thanksgiving. I know we did. It was a blast. The day after, though, we decided to go looking at cars, seeing if we could find a Toyota Supra 2.0, the 4-cylinder turbo for our daughter, because the 6-cylinder is just too much car. We were okay with it. She's a very responsible kid, and we're going to put all the electronics on the car to make sure we knew if she ever broke the speed limit and any of that stuff to really keep her safe. But for insurance reasons, gas reasons, safety reasons, we decided to go with the 2.0. But we decided to pop into a Toyota dealership out in Ontario, California. And when we pulled in, it was fairly busy. There were a lot of people there, but there were also a lot of cars there, which is a little different than what we all saw like a year ago. So we get out of the car, we go walking towards the entrance, and there's a guy sitting on a kind of a bar stool type chair with a back on it, and he's got his earbuds in his ear. And we're not going to bother the guy because he's clearly busy listening to something. Did I think he was a salesperson? Absolutely. Now, as a person who runs a large sales organization, do I think right away I'm going to judge somebody who's supposed to be working when people pull up to look at cars and take the earbuds out and then engage conversation? I think he should, and he didn't. He did try to say, "Hi, can I help you?" But I have a thing. If you show up to a job interview with earbuds in your ear, if you show up to a meeting with earbuds in your ear, I'm not going to start that meeting until you give me all of your attention, because I give you all of my attention. And it's not me being this prima donna, you should bow to me when I come walking in there. It's simple, basic humanity. Let's be engaged in the conversation we are in, especially if I'm contemplating giving you a large amount of my money. So when he said, "Hi, how you doing?" I said, "We're doing great." And we walked right by him, went to the receptionist, and we asked for a salesperson. And we would like to talk about a new Supra, getting one ordered, or if they had any coming in or anything like that. She seemed completely confused and lost and said, "No, there's a salesperson out there." And I said, I think we'd rather have somebody else, because if you can find somebody else. And then he comes walking in, realizing what's going on as a manager's coming up to talk to us, and shakes my hand, and he shakes my hand like this. The most loosest, just like, that was his handshake. Immediately I'm like, okay, this guy, this creeps me out. It feels weird.
Be sure your handshake grip is firm, not a dead fish grip like a pansy.
Who else agrees? I mean, there's a lot to be said about a firm handshake, especially post-COVID. If you're gonna shake my hand, let's do it. Let's go all the way. Let's do the firm grip, look me in the eye, rather than the dead fish hand. And that felt weird. Did the same with my wife. My wife even looked at me and thought, that was kind of weird.
As you take the other person's hand, make sure to grasp it fully.
And I said, look, it's totally cool. At that point, he's taking his earbuds out with his other hand, and he says, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, yes, I'd like a ham sandwich, cheese with rye, a little bit of extra mustard. He says, well, this is a car dealership. And I said, okay, well, then maybe I'd like to buy a car. Just kidding, I didn't say that, but I just love saying that because I think it's hilarious. Because whenever I say, can I help you? It's like, I want to buy a car. That's why I'm here. We rolled in a very expensive car, and, we were serious about buying a car. But he's still discounting whether we're a buyer or not, I guess. I'm still being nice, and I said, yeah, we would like to buy a Supra. If you have one, we can be the easiest deal of the day. And he says, oh my goodness, you won't believe this. And usually when they say you won't believe this, it's like really, really easy to believe, because this is just them putting a spin on everything, trying to make it like kismet, like complete fate, that this is all happening at the same time.
It's a miracle. It's really a sort of a miracle.
And he says, I have one that one of my customer, backed out on. So it's my car assigned to me to sell until tomorrow. Urgency, creating urgency. Good sales tactic, not horrible.
I think you ought to buy it today, right now.
And I can show it to you. It's not even here. We have to walk across the street to go see this car. It's that special. And it's black. It's a 3.0. And I was like, we really want a 2.0 if you have one. He says, I don't, and none are coming in. You can't get them. Okay, cool. Show us the 3.0. If we can do a deal on this thing and it makes sense, I'm willing to go there. So he takes us back to his desk and takes my driver's license, and I'm thinking we're going to go drive a car. And then he comes back after taking a copy of my driver's license and gives it back to me and then says, okay, let's go. I'm going to get the key, then we'll walk over there together. All right, cool. No major alarms going off yet. We go walking across the street to the other part of their dealership, and there's the car. And yeah, it's covered in dirt and everything else. So his story's starting to make sense that maybe this is true. This is true. And I do believe that to an extent, what he's telling us is true. I go look at the sticker. It's like $59,000 and $59,100 or so. And I'm thinking, that's a good deal. That's fair. And he says, the whole time walking over there, though, we do no markups. I do no markups or anything. He kept saying, no, we don't do any markups or anything. We sell it to you for MSRP. I'm feeling good at this point. I'm like, all right, everything's kind of going along with what he's saying. I'm getting over the weak handshake. I'm getting over the earbuds in the ears. I'm getting over taking my driver's license for no reason. I mean, I'm kind of starting to feel okay with this guy. Very affable, very nice seeming fellow. Definitely got vibes of hardcore salesman.
Smart man, you got good taste. I'll tell you something a lot of people don't have these days. Nice to see somebody finally walk on this lot who knows a good car when he sees one, I'll tell you. So, we read it up? Yeah.
But that's cool. I'm in a car dealership. What else is going to happen? I mean, that's normal. No problem. This is what they're trained to do. So we look at the car, $59,100, I think $110. And he keeps telling me, yes, look at this. What a great deal. It's $62,000. And I go, no, you said it was only $59,000. He goes, well, no, it's $62,000. $62,000 with no markups or anything. And I'm like, but it says $59,000. He says, no, look at this other sticker. And I'm like, okay, that says $60,000, like $600 or something like that. And he says, yeah, $62,000. I'm sitting here going, what am I missing here? Like, you keep saying $62,000. I still can't get there from here. And I look, and there's add-ons. There's like $1,500 or $2,000 in, that's like $1,500 in add-ons or so. Of stuff I don't need. Ridiculous stuff, overly marked up, stuff I would never use.
I distinctly ordered the Antarctic Blue Super Sports Wagon with the CB and the optional Rally Fun Pack.
You didn't order the metallic P?
I get it, but that's cool. If it's only $1,500, we might be able to get past that. I might even be willing to pay it, because getting a car today makes a lot of sense. If I'm getting even something wildly marked up as far as whatever they're selling me, you know, the Max Care, whatever the crap is, I'm adamantly against it normally, but at that point, I'm still like, okay, the price still isn't bad, like $60,600 or something. He keeps saying $62,000, no markups or anything, and I'm going, oh my gosh. And he says, let's just go back. Let's just go back. You want to, get this started? And I was like, yes, I do. Okay, I'm going to play along. I'm going to play along with the whole $62,000 dance, even though it's not $62,000. Thinking once we get there, things will kind of right themselves. We get there, and I fill out the credit app on his computer. I come back, 721 FICO score. I'm good. Now, banks usually hate me because I'm running a bunch of car loans, and I'm using my credit a lot for a lot of things. So they usually don't like me for that reason. So I'm okay with getting a little bit higher interest rate. I understand it, especially on a lower priced car like this. versus, you know, a Hellcat or something like that. And I usually can get around that with going to my credit union or something. But I wanted to find out because I'm a repeat customer with Toyota, having owned 2 other Toyotas, including this one I'm sitting in right now, where they gave me the 2.9 interest. So I figure even with rates way through the ceiling right now, they're offering online like 3.84. This guy goes back, does the math, comes back and tells me like 6.7%. And I'm going, okay, considering all the car loans I have, and this is just another car loan, a lot of banks don't like me. I get declined right out despite my very high income and very low debt to income ratio. They don't even ask for stipulations to see check stubs. They're just like, no, we don't want to do that many car loans with somebody carrying that many other car loans. That's cool. Despite the money in the bank to pay for these cars, they just say no right out of the gate. So Toyota's willing to do me at a reasonable rate and term. So that was cool. He also ran my Camry for a trade-in. I said, sure, what would you give me for it? Because I'll get rid of this thing. I don't need it as much now. I got my Scat Pack I can drive every day, and we'll have this other Toyota, so everything will work out. He leaves. Of course, we do the long wait, right? The 20-minute dance, which I know it doesn't take 20 minutes for them to do what they need to do, but they do that to have you invest time. He comes back, and he slides his piece of paper out in front of me, and the car's like, with tax, license, and everything, it's like $75,000. So we go from $59,110 to like almost $75,000. Now I understand tax and license is like $5,000, but how in the hell did we get there? So I look, and he's got $5,000 in negative equity for my Camry, which I get that. You know, I just bought this thing, so I'm sure I would have that. I expected a little bit, but I could sell it myself, and the car's worth what I paid for it, so I'll just sell this thing myself. And I told him that. So I was like, just no problem, take that off.
I don't want to drive it. I just want my old car back, okay? I'm not falling for this bit. No way. Let's go, Russ.
But the math still doesn't work. How are we at $75,000? If there's $5,000 in taxes, something's not right here. And I look, and it's this little section, which you all got to watch out for, that he slipped right above the payment area. I'll put on the screen, where he added more stuff on. So not only am I now got a $62,000 price in his head, but then he adds $4,000 in additional add-ons that I don't need. And when I asked what it was, he could hardly explain to me what it was he was adding on. He said it was for the warranty. I said, it's a brand new car. Why do I need a warranty on a brand new car? This makes no sense. Well, it gives you a 100,000 mile warranty. So, well, you didn't even ask me how long I plan to keep this car. We'll probably have this car for a year, 2 years max. We're going to use it for YouTube, build a bunch of content. Daughter's going to enjoy it. We'll churn cars like we always do. So I don't need that. And he says, okay, I'll take that off. You want me to take that off? I go, take that off, take the negative equity off, and we'll just buy this car outright. How about that? Okay, cool. He comes back again, and he still leaves $500 of add-ons on there, as though I'm not going to notice that. And I'm still dealing with a price that's not $59,110. And he comes back with the interest rate and the payments are way higher than what we want to pay for this car, for our child's first car. It just doesn't make sense to start paying $1,000, $1,100, $1,200 a month. And we go back and forth, and I offer to put a little more money down, and he comes back with some more payments. And by the time we're in knee-deep conversation and the deal's starting to fall apart, my wife's asking, how does this mathematically work when I have a $90,000 Land Rover, and that Land Rover is $1,100 a month? How is this car for $59,000, whether it's a lease or a purchase, they were giving us both, or $1,100, $1,200 a month? And he just, rates are higher. The money factor on the lease. He starts rambling things which don't make any sense. In the end, I reconciled that it just is, the interest rate's a little bit higher, like 6.71 or something like that. I get it. That's the economy and the market we're in. I get it that I have quite a few cars, and banks are going to maybe stick me with an extra % or so on interest rate. All good. But it comes down to where we are literally $78 away from making a deal. And I tell him, look, we didn't even want a 3.0 for safety reasons, gas reasons, insurance reasons. Like, everything's going to be more money. we're good at $900 a month. You can get this deal at $900 a month, get as close as you can to $900 a month, and then I'll go double up my credit union and I'll get that payment down in the 8s. If possibly, I won't know until Monday, but I just want to make sure that I'm at least there, worst case, with Toyota. Then we're good. And he proceeds to accuse me of being a payment guy. Well, you're just a payment guy. It's not about your daughter's safety. You just want the payment down. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. And I'm like, whoa, this guy's being wildly disrespectful. And then he tries to argue with my wife because she had a question about the payments versus her Land Rover payments. And he then believes that she's accusing him of being a liar and starts to jam her up in a very confrontational way. And she sits back and she's like, whoa, I wasn't calling you a liar. I'm just trying to understand how my car can be less money than that car. I'm sure there's a good reason. I just want to understand. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm just trying to understand. That's all. No, you think I'm not being honest with you or something. She goes, I didn't think that. I never thought that. Despite the fact that every time he brought out another sheet of paper, he was slipping another add-on or moving the numbers around. In the end, we never got to $59,000. We were $78 apart. And what's hilarious is at that $78 apart, he was letting us walk and being confrontational. Oh, and he also said, this is hilarious. He also said, I said, listen, how old are your kids? He says his daughter's 12. I said, if she was 16, would you want to put her in this car? 0 to 60 in the 3s. Do you want to put her in this car? It just seems overkill. Insurance is going to be crazy, everything else. He goes, I make $200,000 a year, and I would do it. And you make way more than I make. You make, double whatever, triple whatever I make. I would do it. So now he's almost impugning my income. He's saying, based on my income, I should do it. And almost insinuating, when he's saying that, if it was my daughter, I would do it for her, that I don't love my daughter. This is so incredibly slimy that my wife's ready to go. There's a plexiglass thing in between us. She was ready to wring his neck and strangle him between that plastic. I didn't understand why they had the plastic there, considering that we're way past COVID. We shook hands. We're talking in the parking lot. We talked out in the lobby. But now we have a plastic stand in between us. I now know why. Because people probably try to strangle this man. And my wife was about to do it. But when he brought the income thing up, throwing my income in my face, that it's just that I'm a payment guy. It's not about the safety for my daughter. It's not about anything else. You just want pay. It was very condescending and disrespectful. Almost like he's challenging my male ego to try to get me to say, screw it, I can afford it, I'll do it. By then saying he's a better father than me because he would do it for his kid. And then telling me how much money he makes as though that's a flex, when it's not. It was more of him trying to say, look, I'm important and I'm successful. Take my advice, buy the car. It was just the weirdest conversation I've ever had. Finally, he goes, you want me to take it back? And this is what's hilarious. I literally shot the number. I go, you could take it back and find out. Change the term, figure it out. Because my daughter's going to have to help make this payment as a responsibility exercise in her life. So I would like the payment to be something that's achievable for her as well over time, because when she goes to college, at some point, she's going to have to at least be part of this. And when she builds a YouTube channel, everything else, she's going to have a target to achieve to make this car payment herself. So yes, I want that payment low. We'll figure it out later on as far as trading it in another one and the term and everything else. He says, well, let me go ask him one more time. I said, you know what? I already know the numbers. I have my calculator in front of me. I can figure the numbers. He goes, no, wait. Let me go see if I can get it closer. And I said, why? I don't want you to do that. I assume you gave me your best deal. He says, no. Let me go find out. Just give me a minute. Okay, cool. I know what that means. At this point, he walks away, takes the papers. My wife looks at me and goes, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go. I don't even want to buy a car from this guy. He's been lying the whole time, condescending, disrespectful, rude, almost obnoxious along the way, and challenging.
Etc.
Well, why don't you consider this? You've been breaking my balls for about an hour, asking me about every goddamn accessory in this car.
Look,
what about the light? What about this?
You
What
cannot
about
talk
this?
to customers like that.
You're not a customer as far as I'm concerned. You want to buy the car or not? Not for
And now we're sitting here again, waiting. Another 10 minutes goes by, and stop and think about what 10 minutes feels like when you're sitting in a car dealership. It feels like forever. Dude comes back and says, you know what? You're just not being reasonable on the payment. This is a great car. You should pay this. Which means he went back to a sales manager, and his sales manager said, stop selling to me, go sell to them. Sell to them harder. Which meant he came back and then tripled down on the sales tactics. You're going to regret buying a 2.0. You're going to regret not buying the 3.0. This car is going to be worth so much more money one day. This is going to be a collector's item. This car is going to be worth more than gold bullion one day. It's going to be better than owning Apple stock if you own this car. He starts saying the most craziest things in the world to try to talk us into buying the car.
Am I right? Seriously, Stan, you can't afford not to buy a car like this, and I'm going to make it easy on you. When you add this whole thing up, taking into account inflation rate, insurance savings, gas savings, ease, and comfort, you're going to come out $10,000 ahead after making this deal.
And I said, listen, it's not just the payment, it's the car. It's not the car we wanted, and the money doesn't work out. That's all. No hard feelings. It's all good. He says, nope. You know what? If you can't afford it, you can't. If you can't pay for this thing, that's okay. You guys can go. It's your loss. It's your loss. And I'm like, wow. My wife at that point stands up. I stand up, and I'm ready to say things to him that would get me escorted out of the building. And we go, take care, wish you the best, and we leave. And he says, it's going back on the lot tomorrow. It's going to be gone. I'm going to have 10 buyers for that car. I'm like, okay, I don't want the car. We're okay not buying the car. We'll keep looking. All good. I still don't know why we can't get the $59,000. So we walk out, and we take off, and we get the stress level down. We go have dinner, and I do the math. Had he just done the price that it said on the sticker, like he said they do, not slip markups on us, and asked me for another $2,000 down, deal was done. How crazy is that this guy could have easily just done what he said he was going to do, been honest, told me how much more down he needed to get me there, I would have written that check, and we would have left in that car. But instead, he talked himself out of a sale and worked himself out of a sale by being utterly dishonest from the second we met him to the second we left. And for that reason, I hate car dealerships, and I hate most car salespeople. Now, we've met some that are amazing. We've been in a handful of dealers where they were incredible, where they were really nice. Even if they were trying to screw us, at least they were nice about it. But in this situation, he was not. And I will tell you, a less experienced car buyer would have been wrestled to the ground by this guy. I was almost wrestled to the ground by this guy. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is not to put them on blast or to trash them or to barbecue them. I already sent them answered their survey and told them how offended I was by that experience and how I'll never go to that dealership. And frankly, make sure no one in the world ever gets recommended at that dealership by anybody in my family. But the ultimate reason I did this video is to help all of you out there, that if you get into that trap, that 2, 3, 4 hour trap at the dealership, and these guys are saying anything and everything you want to hear, and you got to look at the paperwork, you got to pay close attention to the numbers. They move these papers fast, they talk fast, they move fast, and honestly, there's so much that could have happened. I could have caved in if I was any weaker. Yes, I ended up wanting the car because it was such a nice car, such a great spec. But I've had so much experience out there, car shopping over the years, to know when I'm getting worked. My wife, her natural ability to smell BS, that alarm was going off pretty early in the process. Like, what'd you think of that guy?
I call him a slime bucket.
Yeah. So my advice to all of you is just pay close attention, question their statements, because what happens is they say things that they believe so much that even though it's a lie right before your eyes, they say it with such conviction that even when you say you're lying, they keep saying, no, absolutely not. It's a great deal because of this. But you're lying. It's $59,110. No, it's $62,000. Trust me, the sticker's $62,000. I'm like, I'm looking at the sticker right now. Nope. They lie so well. It's incredible that I just don't want any of you to fall for any of these scams. Watch out for the add-ons. This guy did not tell us about them. I had to notice them. He didn't even know what the hell they were for. They slipped them on afterwards. They slipped them on up front. And then when I said I don't want to pay those, he doubled the cost of them with no compunction whatsoever. No, feeling of being shady, just did it. So with that, everybody, hopefully this video helps one of you out there or some of you out there, and just be very careful, very cautious when you're buying cars right now. Prices are leveling off, prices are coming down, interest rates have gone up, the economy is sliding, and for that reason, these dealerships, yes, they're selling hard, they're not making the money they used to make. If this dude made $200,000 in the last year in one of the greatest car markets ever, that means his income's cut in half this year. Maybe even more than that, maybe even by 70%, because people aren't going to be paying these markups, people aren't going to be paying these stupid prices, and they're going to negotiate, and they're not going to fall for the baloney anymore. But I don't want any of you to fall for it. So again, don't forget, please like, please subscribe, comment, stay motivated, be respectful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.